It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we'll be looking at whether King Ezekiel will be getting this comic moment that involves Eugene and Andrea. For non-comic readers, we're going to get into heavy comic spoilers, so if you're not interested, please leave this video as I do not want to spoil it for you. With that spoiler warning out of the way, of course we are talking about the scene in the comics in which Andrea, who's alive at this point in the comics, and Eugene are riding away from a horde of walkers. They get trapped and they just make it out alive, but Andrea ends up getting bit in the neck and ends up dying when they return to Alexandria. In the comics, she and Rick are together and this hits Rick pretty hard. But this is beside the point. The main conversation is about the getting bit scene. The question is, will Ezekiel get that? Will he die because of that? Looking at the latest teaser they released for the second half of Season 10, there is a scene with Ezekiel and Yumiko on horseback and Eugene on another horse on the road. Now, we talked about how this most likely connects to another picture that was released from this trio, and we also talked about how they are most likely on their way to Commonwealth. So first things first, the fact that Ezekiel does not have his horse means that they may have been attacked previously, and walkers may have already got Ezekiel's horse. Kind of like how Eugene lost his horse in the comics before that moment came along. And visually, Yumiko and Ezekiel on a horse matches Andrea and Eugene on a horse. So this is a pretty solid clue that that may be where they're going with it, and that's how it'll go down. However, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I think they are using the Ezekiel cancer story as a way to get to Commonwealth. I talked about this a lot in one of my other videos, but I will briefly discuss that here as well. So of course, in the first half of Season 10, Ezekiel revealed that he has thyroid cancer, and he basically told Siddiq that he has given up because he knows that in this new world, with the technologies that they have now, which is pretty much none, and the fact that they don't have the resources, they don't have the people, they don't have the doctors, his cancer is most likely going to lead to him dying because there's no way they can treat it. Now, what's very, very interesting is that Ezekiel brings this up. He says that thyroid cancer has I think 90% survival rate in the regular world, in today's world. And I think they put that in there on purpose as a way to build up or set up the Commonwealth story. All you need to know about Commonwealth is that they are a very large community. They have tons of people living in there. I think the population is about 50,000 if I remember correctly. And they have a lot of resources available to them in terms of doctors. They have people actually in different roles. They have lawyers and they have shops and everything, just like a regular modern world. And obviously in the first half, Eugene communicated with someone through the radio. That person comes from Commonwealth, and that person will connect Eugene to the Commonwealth, and Eugene will eventually most likely tell the survivors about this community, and they will go and visit the Commonwealth to try to see what it's all about. Now, obviously, if the Commonwealth was close to the survivors, then it would not only be unlikely for them not to have come across them already, but at the same time, it makes the story pointless because they can just visit the Commonwealth anytime they want. In the comics, Commonwealth is actually pretty far away, and the survivors actually have to travel for I think several days, up to like a week or 2 weeks, in order to get to Commonwealth. So it's not an easy commute for them to go there anytime they want. Now, with all of that background out of the way, how does this relate to Ezekiel? So like we said before, Ezekiel did say in the regular world, the treatment for his thyroid cancer would be a very simple or common surgery. Now, obviously, they don't have the resources in the post-apocalyptic world as far as they're concerned. They don't have the doctors, they don't have the equipment, they don't have anything. So because of that, Ezekiel pretty much sees this as his death sentence. There's no way for them to treat him. However, what if, and I'm saying what if, but I'm pretty confident that this is where they're going. But what if Eugene tells them about the Commonwealth and the magnitude of the community and about the resources and about the possibility of treating Ezekiel's cancer there? I'm sure that's going to be a huge boost to not only Ezekiel but everyone. And I think that it's going to push everyone to want to take the risk to travel that long of a distance to get there to the Commonwealth and to be able to give Ezekiel a chance of survival by having him, go there to treat his cancer. Now, obviously, like I said, it's a big risk because there's two things. One, it's a long distance, and two, they don't know about the community leaders. They don't know whether they're going to be accepted. In the comics, Eugene just communicated with one person from there and got information out of her in terms of where they are. But the leaders at Commonwealth, in the comics at least, didn't have any idea that they were going there. So because of that, it was a big risk. Because what if they turned out to be bad people and just killed everyone? You know what I mean? So I think in the show, to make the risk worth it, they are introducing the Ezekiel cancer story to be able to not only give the survivors the inclination to want to travel that distance and take the risk, but for there to be this huge reward when they get there. And if everything checks out, because then they can treat Ezekiel's cancer and he'll be okay after that. Now, does that mean Ezekiel is not going to die and that he'll survive? No. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that we know for sure right now is that the Ezekiel cancer will be the trigger for the survivors to want to travel that distance and take the risk to go to Commonwealth. It does not by any means guarantee that Ezekiel is going to survive when he gets there. So with all of that said, I doubt they would do that if they were going to kill Ezekiel, getting this comic moment that involves Eugene and Andrea. Because then, in that case, they would just come back and not want to risk trying to get to the community again, given Ezekiel died because of it. If they do it though, and King Ezekiel gets bit, kind of like how Andrea did in the comics, they would still need to come back to Alexandria because they need to bring his body back. I don't think they'll just leave the body, you know what I mean? Which again would delay them going to Commonwealth. And like I said, at that point they may even reconsider wanting to go to Commonwealth and risking it all again. With that said, if they do it, then Carol would pretty much be getting Rick's comic story, where she's impacted by King Ezekiel's death, and she may even get Rick's full comic story all the way to the end. That's a different conversation, but that could also happen. So I personally think that it's unlikely that King Ezekiel will be getting that death or that moment in general. But it could happen. But I want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this in the comment section below. Do you think King Ezekiel will get Andrea's comic death? And if not, who do you think it'll be? And when do you think it'll go down? That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.